Today we have on Hitch from A Vendetta's Debt, the famous, acclaimed actor. How many calls have you gotten since this movie?
I got 14 casting calls from Hollywood.
Okay. That's
Universal
low.
Pictures reached out to me. I got an email from Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Other than that,
Tom Cruise emails. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
but he uses
AOL?
Outlook.
Oh, okay,
Outlook.
I
He
got
doesn't
you.
use Gmail.
Yeah. not Gmail yet. He hasn't made the
Dang
switch.
it, Tom.
Well, yeah, I think that's because anyway.
I think that's good.
But you were actually in a movie. That's not a joke.
And you were Hitch. Do you want to explain who your character was? Do you feel like you...
I mean, it's y'all's character. I can't.
Yeah, I'll explain.
I
This is
can,
technically
but-
my character. I'll explain. And there's something about a short film that's hard is there's not a lot of time to make a character a character.
Right.
And that's a big fault on mine in the writing is, I mean, the basic idea is like Hitch is a big, strong, mean guy. That's right. Like that's at least what that's what I've at least told you. Like, hey, you're the tough guy. You're the grunt that gets upset at people. Like, hey, you're just supposed to be mad all the time.
You literally told me you're gonna come in, you're gonna punch somebody, and you're gonna die. I was like, all right.
And was that wrong?
No, not at all.
And it went surprisingly well for us telling you just that.
I mean, I guess.
And
you
I
guys
think
liked it.
Everyone loves it. Everyone that sees it is like, wow.
Oh yeah, I loved how you played the character. And at first, I didn't know because you don't know what someone's you don't know if how they are as a person will translate into the actor.
Right.
Which is hard for a lot of people to go from themselves to being in the character.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in a way, obviously you're not a angry guy, but you didn't put you put your energy and you turned that like positive energy into like, I'm going to look upset here. And I think that's just because you were just loud and like, I feel like
you got a lot of energy.
If you're loud in acting, it helps a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like just having that energy. Did you have any thought like, I'm going to try to, like, did you just hype yourself up or when, and what I'm doing so people are confused and we're going to show visuals as well is, so your first scene was down at Tosi's. That really, to me,
Filming,
you were not acting. You just had to stand. That was nothing really.
That's the standing by actor.
That's
I got the spit.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you got the
spit.
spit.
Yeah.
Which is that's funny because Sam shot you spitting like 15
I ran
times.
out of saliva.
And it was just
You had to go through your water bottle.
It was just
Yeah.
such a crazy, like, he was like moving up and down with your spit.
Yeah.
We didn't end up using, we used up the first one. We used your first spit.
Hey, that's fine.
The 14 others were just
That was
to
just
dry
for
out your
shot.
mouth.
That
I
was just
like,
for Sam.
We shot literally everything like 14 times when
Yeah.
I was there. The only thing that was surprisingly short once you guys actually got all the angles set up was when I punched Trevor and threw him over my shoulder.
Two. That was only
Yeah,
two
that was
shots.
only 2 shots. And I was not expecting that because
I
it
guess
took
not,
like an hour and a half to get those shots set up. 'Cause
Yeah.
You guys were like running back from your cars and changing lenses and the rain was fucking up, screwing up your
You're good.
like you had Adrian locking it down.
Oh,
Adrian.
Adrian is a G for
A
that.
hero.
All
among men.
day
So
that
real
day,
for
he
that.
was posted
So
up
real
with
for
the
that,
umbrella.
bro.
He did not flinch
Not
from that spot.
Unwavering umbrella. But it was just a mess getting it all set up because you guys weren't sure like how Trevor wanted to come out. It was just a lot. And we had to do the truck scenes before that, so it was like, man, I really hope we don't have to film this all over because it's 9 o'clock and we haven't even gone to Sam's house yet to do the bat scene.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a while, but
It definitely
no, that
worked
one went
out.
smooth.
I think it went so well because
Yeah.
you came in with such insane energy. And it was funny. I talked to you before the scene, kind of explaining what you were supposed to do. And I had explained it. And I was like, all right, we'll probably run through it once. And, like, we'll see how his energy is. I'll probably, like, have to say, throw in some more energy. And you came in. Because, like, when we were talking in the car, you were just like, yeah, that's fine. We can do that. And then you come out of the car. And he blasts Trevor in the face and just starts screaming. And I was like, wow.
Well, you'll see in the behind the scenes vlog, which will be, so this comes out this Saturday. So we're filming this on a Tuesday going into the Saturday when it'll come out. And then the week after that, you will see that day 2 is literally just those scenes, the bats. It's literally your scenes, which
Okay.
is, I think, the coolest behind the scenes. And because we can see the wide shot of us outside doing everything. And rain makes everything so much better.
God. I had a lot of people commenting on the rain.
The
when they
rain
talked to me
adds
about it.
so much. It just makes it so much. Every scene, if you add rain, it makes it more intense. Like
Yeah.
it feels scarier, it feels more intense. But we were originally that scene, and what's I think cool is because these are all spots we visited while I was writing this, it turned out like I feel like I could envision it happening a little bit. Like the movie with its good and its bad things at least turned out how I thought it would. Maybe besides some of the shots in the church, the close-up shots, those were I wish could have been different. But everything else looked kind of like the initial look of the movie, which I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I was really curious as like how close, because like everybody like storyboards or everyone does it in their own different ways. Like even I do it for my stupid TikTok videos, you know, like everybody has a concept, and then when you actually make it in practice, I was really curious as to like how close you feel like you guys got to how it was when it was still just in your heads, you know. And
yeah,
I'm glad to hear it, you know.
Yeah, in the end, I mean, obviously there's things that were probably going wrong in the moment, but in the end I feel like it pretty much turned out how it was envisioned. Maybe it could have been a little closer had things gone a little better during filming, but I think that it looks great. And also it turns out most of the scenes, except maybe the church and then maybe the beach as well for me, turned out a little bit differently in my head. But yeah.
Well, so it went from, because I originally explained, Sam basically saw the same vision, because I just would go on the phone we'd be on the phone for like 3 hours, and I would just tell him all these ideas. And I read through the script and was like, this is how it's supposed to look. Here's what do you think of this? Do you like this look? So you basically had the same vision as me, because I just was like, transferred it to your head so we could go in having. But I think storyboarding is important. We did not, there was no, originally, you listened to a little bit of the last one, right? The AVD podcast, you said? Or have you?
The most recent one?
The most recent one.
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay. So you have, like, you know that because we talked about in there, and I'll say it again, that we had one day before we released the script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of other issue stuff. But going into, so we have our next new 2 movies planned already coming out this summer. The one, so the movie,
I think we shouldn't say the name, but we should say the date.
There's a movie coming out on July 4th. Well, I'm going to reward, if anyone's here, they're getting a sneak. They want to hear the sneak peeks. If you're committed to the podcast.
I want to hear the sneak peeks.
So
give them a sneak peek.
This movie, I had this idea before AVD, and I really wanted this. I was like, this is going to be, because it was whatever it was going to be, like, this is going to be Sam's, and I was going to have the next one, but then we've already talked about that stuff. I won't dive into it. So I wanted to write this. It's going to be called American Dreamers, and it's about these 2 kids basically trying to have this American dream, and they're like, okay, this is like, I'm giving you the very bland down version. Of course. But they're like, okay, we want to be rich, the American dream. It'll be set in like the 80s or 90s when that's like, I want to set all my movies there, because that's when I felt like you don't deal with like social media stuff, because that just creates so many loopholes. Like internet creates so many loopholes of things. So just going in that time period, it's a lot simpler for storytelling. Right. So around there, and then what these 2 kids are doing is whatever they're talking about, they want to make money. One of the kids is like, it would be so much easier if we just robbed a house and got some money, or at some point. So have you ever seen Bottle Rocket by Wes Anderson, or heard of it at all? Mm-mm. It was Wes Anderson did Fantastic Mr. Fox. Do you know Wes Anderson?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So he did, his first film that got attention was this black and white movie called Bottle Rocket. And it was where two or three friends wanted to go rob. It was actually Lightning McQueen.
Owen Wilson.
I don't know why Lightning McQueen was my first.
I was like, Cars?
I don't know. Yeah, hey. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
But he did, Owen Wilson and his brother were, and that was his first thing. Okay. They worked with him. And that's another thing. I think we really want to branch out. As much as we loved working with, like, having friends for actors, giving actual actors a chance to, like, hey, we can help an actual actor out and then have our friends be a part of it still, but not putting all that pressure. Mm-hmm. Right. But so back to Bottle Rocket. So they made Bottle Rocket, and it's like they go to rob this gas station. And a lot of things I love in movies is when they'll go to do the action and they'll only give you the before and after. And it actually is a trick, because then you don't need to pay or shoot the actual big scene. So like a lot of, like if Reservoir Dogs, like Tarantino, you're literally never watching the actual thing happening. You're only watching the before and after stuff. And it's such a like unique way to tell a story. Right. That's also cheaper.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And looks more filmy or whatever. So that was kind of the inspiration of having like these two friends interacting, and I really want to dive into like the character of one friend, very like arrogant, wants this to get money, and the friend's kind of just following whatever he says.
Right.
But the big thing that'll be cool is it's a little bit patriotic, a little bit, because a lot of like I'm a big Walt Disney fan.
Oh yeah.
And Walt Disney was really patriotic, and having like I feel like it is important to even like as much as I'm not like I'm not going to be like, USA's better than everyone else, like that, but still having a little bit of that, like 4th of July. I feel like all of it will tie in together.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to be talking about that because that's a very base. I'm beginning the writing now.
Yeah.
But it'll be back to where we even started with this is having just a little more time to have the script sit.
Absolutely.
Because I think we could have figured out a bunch of little things. Because did it feel pretty organized to you, or how did it...
Yeah,
I mean, there's definitely issues.
Well, I mean, I have never written a script, so I didn't really know what to expect. And the first thing, to be honest with you guys, my first like impression of like the whole process when you guys handed me the script, I'm like, wow, I don't want to ever write a script because you guys had it in all different order, but it was all like it was not chronological to how the movie went, which is good because you guys got to do a lot of really cool things scene-wise and everything, and like running parallels with different things. But I was like, good God, I'd never want to write a script. That's like the first thing I saw. I was like, nope, I'm glad they're doing it because I don't want to.
In so I call it the non-linear storytelling, which I think is so much cooler. Now, watching the movie back in that way, do you think it would have been cooler to see it in the linear way or the non-linear? Like, do you think there's like what advantages in your mind, and did it help this movie in particular? Like, what would your answer to be?
Right. Well, I think it just kind of depends on how you guys want to put it together, like within the editing. Obviously, you guys know what it's looking like, so like how you film it and what order you film it script-wise doesn't really matter, as long as you get the shots you need. But I think it definitely benefited in some places. I just don't know if for the only thing I would think of, I don't know if it would make it better or worse, was Trevor. I feel like having him earlier on, so you can actually fall in love with Trevor.
Yeah,
because everybody loves Bottles.
Yeah,
they
that's
love
true.
that.
Everyone's
shocked
favorite
us.
scene right there.
Everybody loved Bottles, so I think getting that back and forth gives you more information about your character and Trevor's character, and then I beat him to a pulp afterwards.
And you're like, wow.
That's when the shock factor, I think that would improve the shock factor. That's the only thing, like,
maybe,
other than that, though, like, I really liked the parallels. I liked how, like, I was getting named, like Hitch was getting mentioned in other scenes, and you were getting mentioned, and Marcellus was getting mentioned in other scenes when you guys weren't on screen. I thought that kind of helped with the continuity of everything.
Yeah.
Like on the beach, like they're like, call Marcellus, call Marcellus. And so I thought that was cool. And then I loved the parallel. Obviously, like you have to do it kind of at the same time. It doesn't really play with a timing thing. I just want to say this. The church back and forth between Kamari and Bryce coming in and murdering all of us was dope. That was cool. I like that.
I'm glad that came across.
Yeah,
that's
that was cool.
from The Godfather.
Which is super cool side by side. If you ever get a chance, and I'm at some point we'll probably release something like that shows their side by side.
Yeah.
The way I edited that is if you overlay the Godfather cut, it's paced exactly like the Godfather cut. It's not exactly, to like a certain extent. Like I was looking, how many times do you show Kamari and Bryce before you reveal?
Right.
And how many do I show Noah, then Tyler, then Jacob, or just Noah, then Bryce? It's like a back and forth. Like, how does it make the viewer feel if they're seeing all three versus one? And I really think we're kind of in the process right now of reaching out to some producers to say, like, hey, how would you give us some change to make a feature of AVD for like I want to show the poker scene. Like we talked about what didn't we see? Like maybe we dive into who hitches more. Yeah. Maybe like these scenes. And I don't know. I really don't want to. This is done. All right, that marks like where we were at that film. Yeah. I don't really want to like say like, oh, obviously we can make so much better with a thing, but then it's like we should just go on to a new idea almost.
I agree.
That'd
you
be
guys
more
are
unique.
Like setting a benchmark for your first movie. I mean, I know you guys like to say, oh, this is Sam's, this is Luke. That was your first movie where you guys both worked on it together. Like that's your Suka feature first time ever. You know, that's like obviously you have Stu. Yeah. But that's like the first time where you guys got a bunch of other friends. Like it was a whole production.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just like shooting one day, you know, so I think it is a good idea to kind of switch up, because then you guys can explore and figure out more about yourselves too, like what you like, you know, when it comes to genres or styles or whatever, you know, just getting more reps in with different styles and just testing different things with different actors and different story elements and all that jazz. Because like obviously I get that though, like wanting to like, oh, we could have done that better.
Yeah.
You know, oh man.
A lot of people wanted to see the poker scene.
Yeah.
Is really what sticks out to us.
I just picture it having like smoke coming out in the back, all the cards playing, you and Leo like eyeing each other down, like throwing the cards down, and then it just cutting to like a different scene. Like, okay, wow, we just got a taste of that. I feel like that could make that a little, and what you're saying, I do completely agree. Having bottles earlier. A big thing is like retention now. Yeah, so I wanted the start of the movie
for sure
to have a little, like, get you going a little bit.
For sure.
And then when you see the logo, if you're past the logo, you're going to probably watch.
I feel like you're locked in once you
we
reach
had
the logo.
The average watch time was 6 minutes out of a 17-minute video.
Yeah.
So I don't look. I mean, that could be maybe a positive or maybe a negative. Movies are so tricky on YouTube, which is we've really thought about. Okay, how can we just keep growing a community that cares about like these big productions on YouTube? It's very like what you sent me. That guy posts his movies on there, and he's starting to grow an audience, but he doesn't do any behind the scenes or anything to grow his act. Like doing reels and saying I did a movie that can get eyes, but once you have those eyes, it's about growing them into fans, which I feel like people sometimes forget, and especially like if we're making movies. The behind the scenes needs to be there. So if you care about the movie, you can watch the behind the scenes, and then you're like, get to know us as people. Then you're like, I'm ready for whatever movie they do make. But if you just watch the reel, maybe you don't. Yeah. That's why it's tricky sometimes making reels, because it's like, are we just getting a lot of attention, which is good. You want attention. But I wonder if it hurts us at all.
I wouldn't say it hurts. I mean, right now you guys are still testing so many different avenues, like different channels, the podcast. You guys got a lot of different small things that you're testing out, like personal brand stuff. Like eyeballs will never hurt. And what I would probably say because I've wrestled with different things like that too.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And it all comes down to just testing different stuff. You're going to say all these things in theory and then have a great direction, and then you're going to have a splinter off that actually ends up being what you really do. Yeah. You know, you're like, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this. But I actually end up doing this. But that's better, and you'll find out that also works, but you also enjoy making it. And that's something I always tell people. I have a lot of people messaging me lately for some reason. Hey, I want to start like a fitness account, but I'm like, just do it.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Just do it. Post what you want to enjoy posting first as a company, as a collective, as Suka, as a Sukaverse, and
that would be insane. Suka
have the
metaverse.
Suki multiverse.
Right, yeah. Hitch versus our new character.
Oh
in
yeah,
American Dream.
There you
just
go.
like
there you go.
Space
like
Rangers.
a Suka Infinity War with all the different like.
That'd be so funny.
Suka,
that'd be a funny
assemble.
video.
Yeah.
Where's Leo with your bat? He's alive in this other realm. He kills you with a bat.
Bad Boy Outlaws comes out.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Stu resurrects from the ground.
Race comes in. He's got his backpack on. Draws swords out of it.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
But no, like when it comes to like what hurts, what helps, getting eyeballs, figuring out like if you do behind the scenes or if you say, hey, I made a movie, here's what it was. All of those elements should be in there right now. In my opinion, like there's so many, you will figure out not only what people want to watch, but also what you guys want to make when it comes to like promoting your stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's just promoting the stuff that you really want to make, right?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, all my videos are like, yes, it's helping people, but at the end of the day, it's just promoting what I know to get to able to help more people, you know? Because at the end of the day, now that I run the coaching business, my videos are, hey, I help. If you want more help, I can help you. You know, and yours is like, hey, we make movies. If you want to see more about how we make them, or, you know, you clearly are somewhat interested in the movie process based off this short, watch the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And so don't ever think like it's going to hurt. Eyeballs will never hurt. Eyeballs are the new currency, you know? Media is the new oil is what people like to always say. So I would just say don't bottleneck yourself so much. Just try 50 different things. Like, yes, I understand wanting to have a brand and having a signature thing, but you guys aren't. this is going to sound like mean, but you guys aren't big enough to even have to worry about those things yet.
No, it's
don't
true, though.
bottleneck yourself. You guys don't have 5 million subscribers. You know, you guys have so much freedom to figure out what you want to post and what people still want to see on like the growth side of things, that why not try all of it? See what sticks, see what you enjoy. It breeds more ideas, it breeds improvement, and then you really have something going once you've kind of taken a couple swings at a couple different things, you know? But at the end of the day, all of it will eventually get you some more eyeballs, which will get you more views on the movies and give you more opportunities and make more freaking movies.
Yeah. That's one thing in my mind. Spreading out is so huge, but then I also struggle with the thought of making that switch once you've locked yourself in to that spreading and just posting a ton of different stuff to try and grow.
Yeah.
Making that switch from doing that and just posting reels and posting TikTok shorts, every different short form, and then also making normal videos, making that switch to being a brand.
Yeah.
And
Look at like Elijah J. Anthony.
yeah.
There's the young filmmakers on TikTok, 400,000 followers, millions of likes. Their movies are okay.
Okay.
And even like,
Better than Vendetta's Dead?
I don't
No
think
way.
so. But they're still good. Like they
Yeah.
look good. But like the story's not there. And all of their fans, like those people, maybe it's because they're not converting their fans the right way. Like I think we are can be entertaining in the behind the scenes compared to like most filmmakers. Like we've actually done YouTube for like 3 years of like the actual talking and doing like a vlog, being entertaining in a vlog. So I think we can convert differently, but like their movie, like 400,000 followers, millions of views on this one movie promotion, and the movie has like 15,000 views.
Really?
So like those numbers translate
How
so
long was
little.
it?
This has been
it's
out
like-
for a year.
But like it was
How long
like
was it?
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, short film.
Okay.
So it's a weird especially for film, and then also an example is of kind of not doing the like is Zach with Wise Worries.
Yeah, scarcity.
So he has 10,000 followers on Instagram. He doesn't post reels. He's only posted once in the past year. His advice is be very scarce.
I wanted to
Only
ask you
give
about
out when
that.
it's the highest quality you can.
Right.
And scarcity grows his brand. That's clothing.
Yeah, that's
There's like examples of
completely
good and
different.
bad.
Yeah.
Or even the guy like you showed, like he's starting to get traffic. It doesn't hurt him, but in the long run, will he be looked at as the TikTok filmmaker?
That's what I'm.
Or
saying.
like, hey, is it better for us to literally like for next 5 years, maybe YouTube Shorts goes away because they've been talking about the shorts don't make and Instagram Reels don't make Instagram money because it's taking them away from the ads of the normal. So they're thinking like Facebook's looking at like they lost $500 million from, which is interesting because Reels is such an awesome way to grow on Instagram.
Yeah.
But it's like, is that deteriorating the brand at all in the long run? Like, if we don't for 5 years, maybe we don't get to a high numbers, right? Like certain numbers, but whoever is coming along is staying there and they're really committed to like you're getting found naturally or word of mouth.
Well, what I would say about like the scarcity thing is Wise Worries is the clothing brand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you guys
the one
talked
we
about
were-
it a little bit. It seems like a really successful operation from what you guys have told me.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Supreme.
True.
They do the same thing. It's all off of scarcity. You're not buying Supreme for the clothes. You're buying it because it's rare. It's like collecting Pokemon
Our
cards.
merch is going to be the scarcity.
Right.
Couple weeks.
Right. So that's a completely different thing, I would say. And when it comes to the scarcity thing, like he wasn't wrong in saying that to you guys because it's worked for him because it works for certain clothing brands. It works for physical things. Like a good way of putting it, like if I'm wearing a red shirt right now. This was probably worth, I don't know, $20-$30, maybe a little more when it was new. What if it had a Gucci logo right here?
Yeah.
Instantly like $200 more, right? Because not everybody can wear Gucci. It's a scarce thing. It's a brand. It has a lot of meaning behind it. And that's kind of what the angle he's taking. But you guys aren't making clothes. Like, yeah, you have the merch, but that's not what you're trying to do. He makes his money. He makes his money from clothes. You guys are going to try to make your careers from media, from art, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that that's probably the best way to go about it because you need eyeballs. You know, your currency is eyeballs, and I understand where you're coming from. Like especially with that one guy, the example of 400,000 subscribers, but only
never converts. Anyone.
Converting. I mean, he still has 15,000
Yeah.
views on a short film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
now
true.
we even look at him like we don't really want to work. Like his content, like it starts to get into like the cringe territory
Yeah.
of
Right,
like,
but-
hey, check out our movie
And that's
we just did.
and that's I
Which isn't-
mean,
I don't know if we can.
and
take
you
the
guys control
marketing.
that.
Yeah, true.
You guys control that. You guys aren't them. You guys are Suka.
True.
You're not the same person.
True.
Just because somebody is in a similar niche doesn't mean you guys are the same person.
Yeah.
You guys are making completely different movies in a completely different way, and you have completely unique content from him.
Yeah, that's very true.
Just because he's in the same niche doesn't mean you guys are going to end up the same way. You know, you're creating problems that aren't even there yet.
Yeah.
You know?
And I wonder if our marketing, I stop looking at like what are other filmmakers doing and start thinking what would be unique to us. Because
Yep.
a big thing is like everyone looks the same. Everyone has captions. Everyone has this. Everyone has like whatever, like the POV, whatever.
Yeah.
What if we really dig into what could we do at Suka that we are proud of
Yeah.
that could also get us eyeballs?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the problem isn't getting those numbers or growing on those platforms. It's what we're posting.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe that in the long run will also get us more eyeballs and also help us with
Yeah.
like I feel like the We Made a Movie is really, it works and it gets people. But I don't feel like that's who we are of like, hey, we made a movie, check it out. It's more of like a fun,
Yeah.
relax or whatever.
And
Right.
we want people to check it out because they want to, not because we're like, we're young filmmakers.
No,
Yeah,
no,
'cause
I
some people
understand.
play that role.
Yeah, no.
And they're
Please
like,
check
we're
out
like,
my
they're,
movie.
I'm a young
Yeah, this
filmmaker,
kid,
and I
oh my,
need-
he drives us nuts. He's
Oh.
always like,
He'll do this.
he stares at the camera and does like a walk away and he'll come back and he'll be like, I'm looking for people to donate to my movie. I've been into film for years now. And it drives us nuts because
Yeah.
we're like, you're embarrassing the film industry
Yeah.
right now.
It just feels
he
so like
has-
begging. It feels like you're
Yeah.
begging.
I mean,
Yeah.
he got 10,000 people to put money into his movie, which is like,
Yeah.
I wonder if we can just be fun and interesting and not cringy. Hey, maybe it would. I don't care how cringy it is. $10,000 is $10,000 to make a
Yeah.
movie.
At
$10,000 to make a
$10,000.
Vendetta's debt.
That poker scene is happening.
Poker scene is happening. Yeah, even just marketing, like paying, like, hey, market our movie. Hey, $1,000 to market. Leo, we're gonna give you an extra. You've done so much work for minimal money because we're at a certain spot. Take a half of this to go even more crazy. Bring people in. Distribute yourself. So I wonder. I kind of had somewhat of an eye opening. I've kind of known that, but it's tricky to be unique when stuff already works.
Yeah, but don't look at other people.
Yeah.
That's so hard though. It's so easy to say
you're
you don't want to
telling
look at
me,
other
bro.
people, but when you
TikTok.
look at like
Yeah.
you look at podcast channels, you're like, all right, these are the algorithm.
Yeah.
This is the algorithm. Do this.
Right.
It will work eventually.
Yeah.
And then like
It
look at
will.
like the filmmaking stuff. All right, this is working. Do this. It'll work eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to not look at that and go,
Right.
that's just
For a
like it's-
podcast, I think we should follow it.
Yeah.
Because that is like looking. What I think Sam's saying specifically is clips. Post a clip, post the thumbnail with Sam on the left,
Yeah.
me on the right,
And
or no on
picture
the
in
right,
the middle.
and picture in the middle.
Yeah.
That's such a simple, easygoing, not in your face way to say what is this clip.
Yeah.
And I feel like it might be something that everyone else does, but that's the best way I could think of to do
Yeah.
that.
And the best form of marketing is do cool shit, talk about your cool shit.
Yeah.
That's and you guys have done some cool shit. You just did a really cool movie. So now you're in the phase of talking about the cool shit. That's the best form. Hey, I did this. Let me talk about this thing. Not, hey, I'm going to, or hey, I want to, or hey, I think this is going to. No, I did cool shit, and this is what I did to do that cool shit. And that will be interesting enough to the right people that you're looking for, right? You're not going to get people that are interested in fitness content to watching Suka. Even if they subscribe off of a short, even if they subscribe off of a reel, and it's not like the target audience that you want, they're still finding either you guys or the film aspect of it interesting enough to subscribe. So you guys are discrediting, like, yes, they're Reels followers, or yes, they're YouTube short subscribers. They're still subscribers. They're at least somewhat interested.
Yeah.
That's, I mean,
Just a little
in
bit
the
of
sales world, it's a lead. You're not selling anybody
Yeah.
anything, but it's a lead. You know,
Gotcha.
that's somebody.
That's a
I mean,
good
you
way
kind
to
of are selling
I-
yourself.
exactly. You're selling you're selling your media,
Yeah.
you know, and you just don't funnel yourself into these wrong things, and you're at such an awesome spot because you guys are coming off of a big project and you're still trying to figure out how to market yourselves and all these other things. Like, just test stuff. Just try it. Just try different things. Like, I felt kind of scummy when I made that. I don't want to make any more like that. But I kind of like this, so I'm going to keep doing this.
Now, what do you do when you feel scummy about something, but it works?
That's up to you.
Do you ever have posts?
I never keep doing stuff that I do. If I didn't like how I felt, I don't do it. I don't care how good it does.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed that has done well for you at least, and this is for everyone, is it's now, shorts used to be like it felt more raw, more personal. And then over time it got more captions, photos, music. One of your best things is you running, talking about your weight.
Yeah.
That's so raw, and that's shareable or whatever. I feel like having that raw, like maybe that is the best way to market. Literally being like, this is such a sweet scene from my movie, check it out.
Right.
Even like maybe even like you're saying, try it. What would you do if I said like, no, I'll give you $1,000. You're in charge of coming up with the ideas for us to market. What would be your look on how to market the movie we just made?
So that's a great question.
Put you on the hot seat a little bit.
Yeah, for real. What I would probably do is come up with some sort of content calendar and have, X amount of posting on all these platforms, whatever. But I would get a couple different baselines of stuff that you guys wanted. So let's say you really want to push the Bat Barrage scene and you really want to push the behind-the-scenes camaraderie of the cast. So I will have X amount of posts per week. And I'm like, okay, I'm making sure I'm having 3 Bat Barrage scenes per week, and I'm making sure I have 4 behind-the-scenes clips, and then I'm going to test a couple other things and see how those do. I would test pretty much every aspect of every scene, every movie, every character, every cast member, what does better, what style does better, does sitting talking to the camera raw work better, does just showing the clips that like Bryce took on the camera look better, like just us goofing around, what converts better, what do we like posting, what do we feel like comes across most as Suka, because it's kind of got like this, at least locally, it's kind of got like this omnipresent like energy around it now, like Suka. I don't know. It's like it's got its own thing. It's
been, especially now, but even like for the past, like even in high school, it was like Suka, or at like people would chant it at games and stuff.
What?
So
really?
it was pretty surreal to hear.
Yeah. That's branding. That's a brand.
Which is right now it's so local.
Yeah.
It's I would say it's literally probably like a 1 in 10, it feels like almost,
right,
that knows something. Maybe that's very bold, and that's because
right,
I'm only in my circle, but
yeah.
Like everyone that I have at least talked to once, I feel like knows about, because I've spread it.
Yeah.
As far as, especially
right,
Facebook's unreal for people knowing what you're doing in your life.
Like
then
for your aunt's dog's cousin saw it, so it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they're like, you do that movie
Suka,
stuff.
okay,
yeah. So I think I like that. It's kind of like, what's gonna happen next? What is it gonna be? I'm excited for doing the AVD shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
The website put a ton of time into making it very clean and very simple, and I think
I like the Suka store.
The Suka
shop.
Yeah, the Suka shop.
That's what it
is. That URL wasn't taken. I was like,
Suka shop.
I'm doing that.
I love that.
It kind of gives me like a fun, for us, it's like the timber. Remember, like I feel like it would belong in Timberwolf.
Yeah.
Like the Suka shop.
The Suka shop.
Like the coffee shop. Something like a fun,
I'd
lighthearted.
go to the Suka shop.
It's just like kind of friendly. It feels like
it's very
that
on
might sound
brand.
weird, but
it's very on brand because you guys kind of got like that retro a little bit.
It is,
the
80s.
And and you were talking about the next movie coming out in the 4th of July. When you were explaining the plot to me, I was thinking a lot of like Stranger Things season 3. I know it's kind of a different time frame, but
still,
like
the 80s.
Maybe going to a lake house on one of the inland lakes around here. The clothing, the old cars.
That's a good idea.
Kids on the beach, kids screwing around on the boat, fireworks, the little red, white, and blue lollipops, like stuff like that. Like that's kind of what I was envisioning. So. And that's right on brand with y'all because you guys got like the TV static on your intros and the as the intro on the podcast, and like that is really on brand. So maybe taking that angle with a couple things too. And another thing that I think would be a really good idea for when it comes to like just trying new stuff that isn't, because you only are going to have so much content to put out for Vendetta's Dead, right?
Yeah.
We're going to run after these like 4 weeks.
After this month, like even then, I think like you're going to be done.
Yeah,
we don't want to. You're out of ammo.
We don't want to annoy people.
We don't want to like just milk it until it's just
right.
bone dry.
You're out of ammo at that point. And so what you could do is I see this guy pop up every once in a while. He's like, professional filmmaker or professional editor. I forget how he exactly titles it, but he says professional filmmaker reacts to blank, and it would be like a really cool cinematic trailer for a video game. And then he'll talk about how they must have done to make it.
Oh, that's kind of like Corridor, which is
they're
this
really
like
cool.
VFX. I think that might have even been what you
Corridor
have seen.
Digital.
And they do a really good job. Now, one problem with them is they release original things very rarely, and they do well, but it's not like they're only known for teaching you VFX, which is what they think they want to do. Which is at the end of the day, like our kind of rough outline is make movies, release merchandise that helps pay for movies. And then, because we've seen, this is so funny. When we released the original Suka shirts.
Do you know that kind of story?
It's so, oh my gosh. So we made a Google survey for who wanted to buy a shirt. We sold 50 shirts with a Google survey.
So we bought
2 years ago with 200 subscribers. That's what I'm saying. Our Suka is loyal, that all of the subscribers are watching no matter what we make. We made a
50?
made a Harlem Shake video of us in stormtrooper suits, and it was 150 people watched it from our sub after not posting for 4 months.
Yeah.
We have a loyal group of people.
There's a group of people that are genuinely like ride or
Locked into
die.
whatever.
They will stay for whatever. They are the people that have
Suka
bought the
babes.
shirts. Yeah, they're the Suka babes.
Literally the Suka babes, which those shirts would be so funny.
I
Yeah.
would rock
Girls
the,
with the Suka babes on it.
the GTA loading screen.
Oh yeah, we talked about that on
Yeah.
set. The GTA loading
I think
screen.
that would
The
do really
Suka
well.
babes.
So
I
that's
would wear
like we're
the heck out of
confident in the
that.
merch. Like we made $400 from our doing that.
Wow,
So
good for you guys.
I think we could make. That was 2 years ago. I think now, especially people interested, would get like even when I posted like a little tease of the shirts, like a ton of people would like it or comment like when are these coming, stuff like that. Getting that's kind of like the scarcity of like what Zach does with Wise Worries and the clothing.
That's where the scarcity stuff would come in well.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, there's only 100 of these.
Yeah.
So
do you think so? It's what we're doing is we're doing a system through this kind of. It's basically a print on demand, but it's the higher. This new company does it at a higher quality and at a better. Do you think we should market that we're only selling until a certain amount to make it limited?
Or time.
Now, whoever's listening, don't spread this information, okay?
Well, that's the difference between scarcity and
Don't
urgency.
tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anyone that we
Don't
actually
tell
have...
anyone about these shirts.
Don't tell them we have way more people.
You're not even supposed to be watching this. This is very high
Just
classified information.
don't buy the shirts because
Yeah.
like they'll probably be really expensive in the future. So you wouldn't want to buy them when they come out in 2 weeks. So you wouldn't want to do that.
Well,
so,
what
yeah.
I'm saying is there's really like 10,000 total that we could make, but should we say we're only selling these until,
Yes.
hey, after 100, these are gone?
Yeah.
I think that could be.
So I've studied the bonkers off of this. So that's the difference between scarcity and urgency. So urgency is based off time. Scarcity is based off the supply. You combine those things correctly, you create a bomb. Okay, you make something really cool. And so that's one of the biggest things when it comes to marketing any sort of product or service is, hey, like, for example, for me, like as an easy example for me would be like, hey, I have 2 coaching spots left until I close for the summer at the end of May.
Oh, and you probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't typically like to do that because I don't
Now,
like feeling scummy.
do you
Yeah.
actually do 2 or do you say I have 2 and take 4?
I mean,
don't tell us that. Never
Anybody,
mind.
well, no, anybody could do. I mean, I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
Anybody could do that. I've seen those are called people. There's versions of that everywhere in every niche, and it's rampant in the fitness industry. So I don't like to say it very often, if ever, because I don't want to sound like
It could
everybody else.
discredit your information.
Right.
Like, you really want to get this out?
Yeah.
Like,
right. It makes you feel really scummy. So I always say when you ask really hard.
Yeah.
But give. Ask really hard.
That's
And
actually, I like that.
this is not my original stuff, though. This is all stuff that I've learned from Alex Hormozy. I showed him to both of you guys. I mean, it's more the business side of things. But these are all concepts I've learned from him. So you guys are giving all this awesome content. You're developing a really cool brand behind it, Vendetta's Debt. Combine scarcity and urgency. Say, hey, we have 100 shirts in 2 colors. We're selling them for a week or 2 weeks, and you post about it every day. You get all the cast members to post about it. You share it on every platform, and you see what damage you can do. And that way, the scarcity is there. Maybe you don't sell 100,
Yeah, but
if you get 76
that's still
in a week,
that's crazy.
At 50% profit margin on a $25 shirt, 12 times 76, whatever that number is what you made.
A big one.
You know,
and then
that's
that
not
funds,
bad. And
that funds dreamers.
Yeah.
And that helps all the fancy new year you guys were getting. Like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be talking about that or not.
No, you can tell.
They just dropped a bunch of freaking money on some super dope cameras. So
it's once we get our paycheck from our other job.
Once they get their paycheck, they're dropping a bunch of freaking money on a super nice camera. So they're pretty official.
And we're pretty official.
Yeah, they're kind of real deal.
So I kind of want to take advantage that you know this, have studied this closely. I've looked into that guy, like you said, and know not to the extent you have. Yeah. So in 2 weeks, the shirts will come out. By then, all of the Suka gear that I ordered without the margin. So I ordered it literally how it gets made. Mm-hmm. I will be paying for shipping. So at the end, I'll probably lose money, but I'll be in the end. Obviously, it'll come back. A lot of something I want to do is having like the cast and crew wear the shirts, like make fun promos for it with everyone wearing the stuff. So it comes out in 2 weeks. So give it until we get the shirts, give it like a bit by bit. And while I'm saying this, kind of think about what you would do, like agree with or maybe do more of. For the scarcity, we're going to have like, so I think the day, it's like, I think it might be around like May
16th.
9th.
I think the 16th is what we said on a calendar, but.
Okay. So May 16th, I think that's the day. Then it'll be out for those 2 weeks. Do you just slow at the beginning of that day? You're like, hey, the shirts are out. There's 100 of them. Mm-hmm. Then tomorrow you're like, hey, we sold a certain amount. They're going fast. And then making reels of like, here's our movie. Here's the shirts we made for them. Mm-hmm. Like reach our people. Yeah. And then go to the eyeballs.
Right. For the selling, I would really just recommend nailing down that local thing. Yeah. Because a Suka shirt in Denver, Colorado doesn't mean much right now. Yeah. A Suka shirt in St. Joseph, you're a part of something. Yeah. True. You know? Because that's where all your that's where you guys are, like, that's where you get the most of your stuff is all local. Mm-hmm. And there's a power in that. There's real merit in that. And if you do it correctly. So you probably had a lot of people from all over the place watch the movie, obviously. Yeah. You're getting people from all over the place watching the shorts, obviously. I would give you really slim chances to sell any shirts to anybody outside of this general area. Yeah. I mean, maybe you do.
Yeah, all 50 were from this area.
Exactly.
Yeah. 2 were from. Exactly. We had 2 people that were
and
super
everyone
far away.
Was from here that did the Google survey too.
Exactly.
Because some of the people that did the Google survey didn't end up
let me ask you this. If you, let's see, what's that guy's name with 400,000 with the bad movie?
Elijah J. Anthony. Name dropping.
Elijah J. Anthony, let's say you've never seen this guy before, right? Tomorrow, you open your phone, you see an Elijah J. Anthony short about a movie he's making, and then you go and watch the movie. You think it's good. How good does that movie have to be for you to immediately go to the store and buy a shirt from a movie you've seen one time off of one reel?
Yeah, true.
Well, I think of movies that I have seen that I have shirts. I have a Pulp Fiction shirt,
which is
from Sam,
cult classic that is a part of American culture, made by one of the best directors in history. Yeah, and then that you've seen 100 times.
Star Wars, which is
bigger than anything. Yeah,
and then there's a couple other little ones. But I think you're right, and that's like these shirts are about having the local, like having an AVD shirt around here will feel. That's why I want to get it out. Like Trevor and Adrian go to Lakeshore.
That's what I'm saying.
They're going to rock the shirt. That's what happened. People wore the shirt at school.
Those are your billboards.
And it was if you had a Suka shirt, you knew who we are, and that's become obviously we're super small, we're super niche, but in the area, it's like feels like a celebrity-ness of like people texting us to be in a movie now locally, like, hey, can I be in the next movie, or feeling like that. So it does have, I think you're right. How do we scale from that small town? Do you think it's just slowly it'll start?
It won't be anything geographical. It'll just be eyeballs, I think, from there. Like, I don't even have anything like that locally, though. And I've been training in person for a while, So that is definitely something cool that you guys have. It depends on what you want to sell. Like, what are you giving to people? And what you're giving to people is movies, and that's global. That's international. You know, that's not – you guys are just getting it because, you got the young 2 kids, young Moxie making movies with kids around here. We got young filmmakers. Like, that's why you got the local stuff. And, being really public about it in schools and stuff really helps, obviously. But I think, like, to grow it – that's when it comes down to the eyeballs.
Like
and that's when I talk
marketing.
about like give, ask really hard.
And will you explain? Sam understands more than me, I think. Will you dumb that down for me?
Yes.
Being
So-
completely honest.
So like what I mean by that
Like, what are we
is-
giving and what?
Right.
is the
So
ask?
for you guys, it would really just be your product is your content,
Yeah.
right? And it's also your marketing. That's the cool thing about like creating media.
Yeah, you can just.
Because the dream for you guys is obviously make money from your movies and then
Yeah.
probably have a monetized YouTube channel. That
Yeah.
would be kick ass. You know, making a couple $1,000 a month from your YouTube monetized channel would be dope.
Yeah.
So if that's your goal, give. That means just give them really entertaining content to watch consistently for a long time without asking for anything in return.
And how long is really long?
Everyone's got different time horizons. The longer you give, the harder you can ask.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know,
It's a good way to look at it. I know
I
you
made
were
fitness
saying I
content
like
for 2 years.
Before.
I didn't have an offer yet,
Yeah.
but I made fitness content for 2 years.
Now, did you actually wait that entire 2 years before asking, or was there like?
Well, I was building my business behind it, so
Okay.
like I didn't have anything to give in the first
Okay,
place. I
yeah,
didn't have,
yeah,
any-
yeah.
I didn't have
It
anything to
works
ask.
out. It
of.
works
Yeah.
out for you.
So yeah, and I mean, I didn't even ask very well, so I didn't ask hard enough. I didn't do it effectively because I didn't know anything.
And
I
what
mean, I
is
still don't.
asking hard?
Marketing,
Okay. So
saying
just
like, buy our shirts, watch our movie, or like whatever it
Yeah.
may be. Like however you're gonna pay the bills.
Yeah.
You know, when they have to cross a certain threshold where they're giving you something other than their eyeballs, you know, and that's where it gets a little tricky with the media side of things. Is I don't know much about the film industry like you guys do, so it's a little different. But when it comes to like growing a brand and selling things to people, not necessarily going out and finding jobs, which might like a film contract, stuff like that, which might be a better angle in the short term, just to like fund your guys' next projects. But when it comes to building Suka as something that people would want to give their credit card information to, that's kind of the philosophy that I would come across as is give, like all this awesome content. Here's behind the scenes. Here's a sneak peek that we just love you guys so much. We finished this scene early. Boom. Let us know what you think. Let us know what to change. Pow. You know, what do you guys want to do? Community polls, like just anything to show that you're like basically like a public servant to them in a way. You know, keep that within reason, of course. But doing it that way, giving all this awesome content, being very unique, and then, so like what I'm saying is basically don't plug your merch store every single time you post.
Yeah, like I don't think I want these vlogs
and that's where the
behind
scarcity
scenes,
thing comes in
like,
nicely.
It will be scarce for 2 weeks, but after those 2 weeks,
It's done.
It's going to be an hour or a minute of that video where we're like, buy the merch, check this
Yep.
out. That's something Full Send and Nelk does.
Yeah.
They promote their stuff 2 minutes before the video. Yes, they make bank
Yeah.
off of doing
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But once they do it, their website's not open anymore for those shirts. So for me, I'm like, I don't want to throw. I want to do like what you're saying, doing the marketing. But in what you're saying, don't always be asking. Like I want to
Yeah.
give them 3 vlogs and the in-depth behind the scenes in the movie,
Yeah.
and then I want to ask them to watch those videos
Yeah.
and easy things, and then ask them to buy the merch. But I don't want to ask in those mediums. Like I
Yeah.
don't at the end of the movie go, thanks for watching. Here's our
Subscribe.
merch.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Right.
That ruins the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are at the core of it. We've started to post some shorts on the main channel, and it's like 4 or 5 subs per short,
That's awesome.
which is nice. And we've had comments saying this needs more attention. So getting more, I think you're right. It does start to build. Now, what do you think about posting those shorts? And then after a week, because shorts go up and then they stop.
There's
They
no
die.
growth
Literally
ever.
get nothing. Maybe
It's like
1 view.
1.2K
So just
and
cutting
then
them.
it never
Yup,
moves.
I posted one this morning, got 2.2, and then it completely flatlined.
It just
after an
plateaus
hour.
and
Yeah.
doesn't move.
Should
Yeah.
we cut those out? Because shorts do kind of like taint the channel with this. It's a
See,
shorts channel too.
That's
Because if you look at a channel that you aren't subscribed to, you see the shorts on the channel.
right.
It comes up in the subscription
Yeah.
feed. It comes up. So you have a Vendetta's Debt, 5 shorts.
Yeah.
We want the only thing our subscribers to see is that we made a movie. Those
Right.
shorts, we want them to see it after that first day. But
Yeah.
once they're there, it's now like, okay, they have a 1 in 6 chance of watching the movie versus maybe that 1 chance, or maybe they watch all of it.
Yeah.
But I really don't want Suka to be looked at as the shorts and reels. at all.
You won't, though. That's the thing. You could be posting shorts and reels for years, and you're not going to be known as that because everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing is the longevity of it.
Right.
We don't really know.
So why not take advantage of it while it's here?
Well, I'm saying
you're getting 4 subs every time you post one.
Are those real? Like, would that help?
Would you rather not have them?
Well, that depends. Is that we've watched this video.
Colin and Samir, right?
Colin and Samir.
Do you know Colin and Samir?
Subscribers matter.
Yeah.
And so I mean.
Well, talk about that video and explain to Noah too and everyone else, like what it talked about, or do you remember it? I can talk about it.
Yeah, go into it.
So Colin and Samir talked about. So Tommy Innit, Minecraft YouTuber, 70 million, whatever. He's loaded.
Smaller
Minecraft
creator.
If you're looking to make videos, make Minecraft gaming videos and be loud.
God.
It's dude, you're rolling.
Yeah.
Dream, Jesus
Jesus.
Christ. Like,
he hasn't
I have
posted.
people
He's
say
probably
that I look like Dream. And
No,
what?
no.
I don't get it.
You don't
wear
wear
the
the
moon
mask.
face.
No.
Thank you.
So
I mean, no hate to him.
no.
Well,
Unless he deserves it. I don't know.
Colin and Samir are YouTube.
Yeah.
Basically, they're trying to help creators on YouTube.
They got some good stuff.
And they mentioned huge, and this might be an interesting thing for you to watch too, maybe if you have time, is in there, they have a new channel they made called Creator Support. They're posting every single week. It's a raw podcast. And they're saying a lot of people are wanting this raw. They're not wanting, like the shorts are so... It's like the short view, you have so little time to make an emotional connection. And yes, there is obviously like, and I feel like what you're doing, yes, I feel like it's such a positive thing. But your main thing is basically, your main thing is your business.
Yeah,
and that's
but I don't make long form content.
But
so
yeah, it's not, I wonder
saying.
if you would see more of our side if you did try to bring eyes to your original or main content. But what they talked about is they're like, we were making shorts, but they've talked about, is it better to just have a shorts channel to have, because they said now when they see your videos, it's looking at, here's your main form and here's your shorts. And everyone subscribing is a short subscriber.
Yeah.
Those people are most likely to watch shorts, and they're subbing because they liked what you're making in the short. Maybe if those things, they said if you're making a short, it needs to basically be exactly like your main content. So that kind of makes me think of like what I said earlier of, should we have more of a unique way of posting? Like, should we be more ourselves so that those shorts maybe do live? But it does. The shorts just they talked about, it has just that feeling of like, it is a short. It is, we're trying, some people are aware that we are trying to get you to go to the movie. So maybe hiding that.
I mean,
that was kind of the baseline.
Yeah, a lot of that is algorithm. So people are going to know way more about that than I am. I mean, I don't claim to be an expert on anything. So that could work. I genuinely have no clue. Like when it comes to having just a shorts channel or just having a YouTube, doing it separately. I know you guys just broke up the podcast to have its own channel.
Yeah.
So however, you guys clearly have a plan for that. I don't really know what would be best, to be completely frank with you guys. I have taken a pause on YouTube to grow the business, and it was a really good decision so far.
I have seen that.
Yeah, that's been...
Why did you decide fully? Just too much time?
Way too much
making
time.
Videos is grueling.
One long form video just took me and I'm taking way more calls than I ever have right now, and that is absolutely where my priority is right now.
I feel like I don't want to interrupt you, but
go ahead.
I feel like we have to touch on, last time you were on the podcast, you had 2,000 followers on Instagram, and now you're at 13?
12.
Oh, sorry, 12,000
followers. I do want to say there was a week where it stopped.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was at,
I
think it was at like 9 maybe.
Well, the biggest growth
and then
came
I
from
looked back and it
one
was
video.
11.
Yeah.
I was like, he's back. He's back. I was like, yeah. Oh.
We literally were
Dang
checking your numbers daily.
And then I was like,
you guys
dang.
mentioned it on the
I was like,
first day
shoot,
shooting.
Noah hit a wall right now. I was like, oh, that sucks. The content's been awesome. And then it was back, and I was like, yeah, Woo, he's back.
What was your mindset during that? Because that really all happened
Did you
within
notice
a month.
the dip? Like, does that mess with you, the dips?
No, I used to. It used to drive me insane on TikTok. Oh, dude, it would go. Like,
Your TikTok is weird. Everyone's TikTok is weird.
TikTok has been changing. They're really aiming towards their long form of content,
which
now,
doesn't make any sense
long
at all.
Is a minute. Like I have 10 minutes. I can post 10-minute videos on TikTok if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So
you're in the new creator thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's another thing too. So
I want to jump in that.
That is basically just more of a monetization thing. So it's taking a similar frame to YouTube.
Do you make money off that?
We're gonna see. I just joined it. And it has to be minutes.
it doesn't go.
It has to be videos over a minute after you've joined.
We can post our 5-minute vlogs.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
So, but But that's the thing is, it's so, I don't know why they're trying to make that switch. Everyone on TikTok is there for the 10, 20-second videos. And
They're trying to compete with YouTube. They're going for the giant
So
throat,
like posting those 5-minute videos,
I've never
TikTok
tried.
will. Well,
it's also like they limit that. Not everybody can do that.
Okay.
Do you think that they're pushing that more? Or
yes, they are trying to go for YouTube's throat, I think.
Really?
They are trying to
I don't
put,
think
they
they
are
can
trying to
even.
become.
Yeah, they can't.
It's such a different thing, though. I think it's worth a shot, but they are angering a lot of people, but also a lot of people are still getting that explosive growth that they always do. But I mean, I'm reaching almost 50 on there, and I mean, I've posted every day this week, and I have only had like 2 videos break 1,000. Like, obviously, a lot of that's on me. Whatever. I'm always trying to make good content.
I don't think it is.
But I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'm just going to keep testing. That's all it is. It's just testing stuff that works and repeating what works and growing upon that.
Yeah.
So, back to the Instagram thing, though, most of those followers came from one video that went uber viral on TikTok and Instagram, which has never happened
Was
before.
it the running video?
No, it was the face fat video.
Oh,
the double chin video. That thing got 1.2 mil
Just super
on TikTok,
relatable.
and I don't know how much on Instagram. I haven't checked in a long time, but it was a lot. So I got like 8K followers from that video on TikTok because I went from 42 to 48 or 49,
That's insane.
and then I got I 10x'd my following on Instagram.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
I
were
know.
both like,
And
I
what?
know.
what?
Well, so I have 2 things. Colin and Samir posted an AI video, like learning about AI. And
Yeah.
they jumped 100,000 followers because it got like 2 million likes and a ton of people
On YouTube?
shared it
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Oh,
Because a ton of people shared it. So shareability is
Yeah.
huge. So maybe making like helpful
Yeah.
content that people can
yeah,
share.
it has to be valuable. Like, that's another thing where it's like weird for y'all because you can't really like.
Yeah, we're not.
It's hard to
we
give
could teach
valuable
what we
to the
did.
average person.
Yeah.
Then if we're
That's-
teaching what we did,
that's where it's hard for you
Yeah.
guys, you know. But yeah, the Instagram thing, like the following, it was like most of it came from that video, and then it stopped, and then another video got like 67,000 views. I was like, oh, okay, and that bumped me up to where I am now, and now it's been kind of steady. Because it was the weirdest thing because the algorithms evolve. Like YouTube used to be like, oh, my short's still getting views after 4 days. I have 60,000 on this one. Whoa, that's so cool. And now on Instagram, I have the same 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 videos that are still bringing in
they
views.
work.
They still
Instagram
go.
works
Yeah.
those
And it used to be
reels.
the exact opposite. I would post thousands. I literally posted probably like 150 reels in a row.
Wow.
0 every single time. Not a single view. Not a single view.
Wow.
Wow,
With
that's-
1,600 followers, not a single view.
Really?
Just
like,
didn't
Were
push
you
it at all.
doing
below
the
5.
Were you hiding it from the
Yes.
page?
I was hiding from my front thing.
They do not like that.
They will
hate it.
kill it on arrival if
Yeah.
you do that. So I was like, okay, whatever, we're just gonna do this. And that was where I saw some growth. I got up to like 1,600, and then those 2 videos went nuts. And then
What
Yeah.
is your, and you can be as open or as least open as you want,
I'm
per
open, baby.
follower conversion, like, okay, you just had all this growth. Conversion to your actual business.
like sales.
Yeah. Is it like for every 10 followers, 1 will buy something?
God no.
Yeah, that would be,
There's
I was going to say.
no way.
Then you would be,
No, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
that would
There's
be-
not even close to that. It's probably with how if I sold like a 99-cent ebook or whatever, it might be different. But my personal experience, I'm selling like a full one-on-one experience that like not everybody can afford. So it's not even like how many of those people do I even want to even have a sales conversation with?
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of them are kids or a lot of them
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
you've
students
talked about
that like
that.
maybe old enough but they're just not ready or they just can't commit to it, and it's fine. That's the part of, I only work with like usually men or women between like 22 and 30. That's where pretty much all my clients land, and that's who I want to work with, and that's who I see the best results with anyway. Like, could I work with somebody else? Of course. If they had the means to, of course. But I would say with how I'm seeing it, it's probably it's tough. I mean, maybe 1 in every 100 to 200 followers. It depends.
That's still pretty
And is this
crazy.
just for,
It depends.
And this isn't, so you offer
Just
and
the
you
coaching
give us
right now.
just the coach. So
I
you
did a
stopped
rework.
doing.
I did a rework. I'll talk to you guys more about that off air. I got some
Okay,
cool
because that's
things
what I'm
coming.
wondering. Because I was
Yeah.
like, Sam and I
Yeah.
were like, Noah's had a ton of growth. I
Yeah.
wonder if all of that's being converted.
Yeah, it's different. It's people overestimate how many followers don't mean anything when
Really?
it comes to money
Okay.
at all. Like obviously if you're monetized on YouTube, that's different. But like sale conversions from like follower accounts, I know some people that are dead broke with a lot of followers, and I have people that have 1/10 of the following that I do that are making triple my income. So it really doesn't matter if you have a business and you are willing to put in the work and you know other forms of marketing and you know what to do with the assets that you have, you can do some freaking damage. But it depends on what you know, because very, very, very rarely will people just buy because you're you. You have to have a gigantic following.
Yeah.
Like there are some people, like, I mean, they're just pretty or they're just funny and people just love to watch them. I don't have those traits. And so
you have those traits now.
You've got all those traits.
You got all
people
those
don't
traits.
follow me for those reasons, right?
There you go.
So
sure. Well, that's why
I did.
God damn it. But yeah, so that's people overestimate. Like just because somebody has 5K, I know people that have the same amount of followers that I'm making more, and I know people the same amount of followers that are quadrupling my business.
Yeah.
So it is entirely down to what you have in store and what you can do. Like it's a resource that you can tap into, but it depends on what your offer is, what you're selling. Like there's a million different variables.
Is there a part of you that kind of wants to? You said like if I offered a 99-cent ebook, it would. Is there a part of you that wants to offer like a small like thing that people could buy?
Yeah,
that
definitely.
You don't have to work
or
like
big fella
super
fitness merch.
That is, I want to do something along those lines, and it would be similar. Not anytime soon, but like once I'm big enough, I would like to have some that says like "Keep it simple, big fella."
Oh yeah,
I would like to have
trademark's
one.
I'm buying that one
I
immediately.
wait for that. I'm like, keep it simple. Like, look, cool.
Boom! There it is.
It is that is like keep it simple.
And I just started doing that like 2 months ago too.
I love it. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. That one, and then there's a couple other ones that I've written. I just wrote down one. I wrote one down today that I can't remember what it was, but I liked how it sounded. Just like very positive, very like just a little bit more like mental health, like
it could live on its own brand
say,
almost.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Like keep
so,
it, yeah.
So it'd say like I'm happy you're here, and it'd be like just like a smiling little guy in the gym or something. But like literally, you wear that, and they're like, I'm happy to see you here in the gym. Like that's basically what it's saying. Like just different things like that.
That's awesome.
I've had those little ideas. It's not anywhere near my short term goals. It's like multiple years down the road. I don't want to do anything like that anytime soon. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot of people that are going towards more of like the subscription side of things, which is definitely interesting. That's something that I would like to kind of at least explore. I've tested the waters with a few people and just asked kind of what they would think if I did something like this, and I got a pretty decent reception. So we'll see how it goes. I've got some testing to do, but right now my gigantic number one focus is delivering on the clients I have and getting more at that 1-to-1 mark. And then once that's taken care of to where I'm sufficiently happy with where it is right now, then I will get into like the smaller, cheaper stuff. Because I do want to help, the people that are 18, 19 that still want to work with me, but they can't afford, a full coach,
And you've talked about that. You've talked about how you don't really love to work with anyone that's younger. Yeah. Because you feel like you're kind of messing with their maybe mental image.
It's tricky, yeah.
Yeah, I can see with that. That would be a mental battle.
Right, and that's one of those things where like you feel almost a little scummy if you tried, because I know some people that will work with people that are 17 or 18. I'm just like that.
Well, yeah, you're in the different bit. Like our audience, we do want to have like kids is the audience for movies.
Yeah,
like making. Like Star Wars does so well because it reached everyone, especially kids. And then it had shirts and action figures and all this stuff. Yeah. So we have that whole market to really like, that's cool and good for us. But for you, if you started marketing, hey, 15 to 16, now that would look even more shady. 15 to 16-year-olds. Let's just say 15 to 16-year-old girls. I'm looking to work out with you guys. 50, I'll pay you though, actually. I would just, Noah's
and
going
the
to
16,
prison.
It's
He's
no
going
longer
to prison.
1,000 followers.
Yeah, maybe.
You have 100 followers now.
Oh, man.
So obviously you can't market yourself too.
Yeah, no. That's it comes down to lessons learned in business. I don't know anything yet. The more you get into something, the more you realize how little you actually know. And I'm learning, but I still don't know anything. So it's like we're just testing, we're trying, we're experimenting, we're failing, we're learning, we're continuing. I think I've found a really good flow that like I've had like my best week these last 2 weeks. Like I've never landed. I've had like a really a lot more new clients this week, which I
That's probably because of the movie. That's probably
yeah,
nothing.
Honestly, I mean,
probably they
the
saw
amount
how-
of coaching applications I got, like
when you
Vendetta's
lifted
dead.
him over your shoulder, they were probably like, "Oh, he's ripped. He's jacked.
Well,
I should
they're
get
like-
that guy in my
they're
team."
like, wow, I hope he can teach me some stuff. He's so
That's-
strong.
Oh my
Bringing
gosh.
it back to the AVD talk.
Yes, I was just about to say
Do
that.
you
yes.
see yourself in like, are you want it? Because Sam and I were like, if Noah wants to be in any movies,
We
he is
want you to-
more than welcome. Like that was awesome.
I was gonna ask, do you
No.
think you could act in
on-
the future? No.
No.
You
don't
No,
think you
guys.
could?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm one and done.
You're
you
one
guys
and done?
made a miserable experience out of
I-
it.
Oh
That's-
wow. Okay. Well,
I probably shouldn't have done all that stuff.
That's a
yeah,
wrap.
we probably shouldn't have done that in the room.
But honestly, do you think you could see yourself as an actor?
Uh,
I mean, humbly, you have to say no, but deep down, I think part of you is like, I look pretty
Be
good
honest
out
with
there.
yourself and
I
be honest with
sounded
us.
confident and good, and I sold that.
do you guys think?
I
this?
think
We
you-
both have said to you and,
and
everyone.
away from you.
Yeah.
I think you really. I think the fact that your energy, that you can just get in, be yourself, be responsive, you're just a really good people person. So like, hey, no, we need you to be upset. Heard.
That's
that
one
was
of the
your thing.
things.
Heard. I was like, that. I'm
That's
stealing
something
that.
from restaurant. If you work in a
Oh,
restaurant,
yeah.
you'll say heard.
One thing you kept saying before shooting and during shooting, kept going, "This is your guys' creative process. Tell me what to do, and I will do it."
Yeah.
And you were so receptive. And then you came in and you exploded with energy.
Well, and
that
your own
blew us
ideas.
out of the water. Yeah, and you
Like,
take.
having the toothpick. People have said, "I love the toothpick." When you have the
Really?
toothpick in your mouth, 3 people have said that while I watched the movie. They go, "I like that toothpick." I don't know if you've watched the movie with anyone else.
Yeah.
Like
I showed it
how
to my
to go.
girlfriend and my mom like as soon
The
as it came out.
reactions are this. On some, like the cigarette
Really?
scene, people are flinching.
Oh, yeah.
In the bat scene, everyone's
When you
freaking
punch-
He
out.
sold the scream really well. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's really good at screaming. Whenever I
Let's not
jab things in his eye, he's really
Anywhere
good at
in me,
screaming.
really. So when you.
And I was doing this motion. If you're here for the hour and 10 minutes, in,
Yeah,
you're
you're deep.
Really that long, right?
You're
Yeah.
deep, just like Luke. So
insane. All right, with this cigarette, I promise the cigarette.
yeah, with the cigarette.
I shouldn't have winked at the camera.
But I mean, I seriously, you haven't answered, and I want to give you a chance to answer. Do you think
I'm gonna
you could-
force you. I'll pay
Do you
you
think
money.
you
I
could-
will pay you money as an actor to be in the next movie.
Well, when you guys were talking about it earlier, and you were talking about it like on the podcast last time, was just you two talking about AVD. That's really all it was like, this is your baby, and I want to do it justice, and I just tried to do that. I
And you
guess.
did.
Yeah, I mean, I just tried to think like, if I was in their shoes, what would I want to see? Like, I would try to do basically what you guys were envisioning Hitch as. Like, not like, okay, let's see what happens. Like, when you had Hitch in your brain before
Yeah.
anybody came around scripting or casting wise, what were you envisioning? And that's what I wanted to try to get as close as possible to. And that's, I mean, when I said that, that was real, because like, I know what it is to have a giant thing that you've worked hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into, and you want it to be the best as possible. And when you're giving it to other people, that they now have I mean, like I talked about it a little bit last time with Grant, like having him help me with some of my projects. That's terrifying, bro. That's my baby. I love that thing. I've put so much time into it, and that's kind of, I'm like, if I let anybody else into my movie, and if I made a movie and I made it just like that, then I would want the absolute, like, I want to be as close as to what my brain would want.
Yeah, well,
you know?
we've even
So-
had that with our
Yeah.
own projects of like, hey, if you're doing this, you need to make it this way, and you
Yeah.
need to communicate, and you need to tell me this. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't want to do it, I will do it as best. This is my thing. I want this to be
Yeah.
insane. But that's another, and I think that's just a mindset thing, and not saying all the other actors, I think, did that same thing. But I think you brought the level because you're just, again, with like this energy of having, like, you stated it. They stated, like they've said, obviously all those guys were great. I loved having all of them on.
Yeah, they were fun.
And we're not saying like Noah's the best actor ever. All of you guys are garbage. I think like what you're saying of that mindset is like, if I'm a director and I hear an actor say, "This is your baby. I want to give the
Yeah.
character what I think you want, and I want to hear what you said."
Yeah.
I'm like, sign that man.
Yeah,
He is
seriously.
doing whatever I want him to do.
Yeah.
Like would you, like, obviously no one would turn this down, but like Tom Cruise is like, we're making a third Top Gun. They're like, no, we saw you in AVD. We want you to hit someone with the bat.
Yeah.
Or
One
whatever
of
scene.
817.
Would you be, obviously you'd be excited, but like, if you could have a career in acting, would you ever take a little bit into that side to go down that road? Like if you were offered the
Would
chance,
you be Mark Wahlberg?
I mean, I enjoyed it while I was doing it with y'all, but I think that was partially because like we're friends. And
Yeah, it was just like hanging out.
T.O. I mean, I got to beat one of my good friends up. Like that was fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good friends with Trevor, so it's like.
And it wasn't that stressful.
No,
hopefully.
not at
like,
all.
You
No.
better get this
Right.
like on actual
No,
film.
no.
set.
And
That was
another
super
thing that was
easy.
going on while we filmed, and for both of people's favorite scenes, which were Bottles and the bat scene, they were both almost all done with improv.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we should have probably done a little more of, is just have the actors improv, because you just went off when we told you. We were like,
If you read, there is certain lines you kept the same.
Yeah.
And kept, but again, like improv is so. In the bottle scene, that was intended to be improv. And I mean, those are both left for improv, but some people can't improv.
No,
Improv's
it's hard, dude. I
You
didn't
have
think
to
I
like
did that good of a job
start
at all. It
yelling
was tough.
and being like the bottles improv was hard, but also it's like experience. Like I've been improving for 4 years on YouTube of random stupid jokes. You've made content. You've had to come up with what can I say here. So I don't know if that's especially the people we're working with. I don't think if you ever plan for improv, you are going to fail. If there's something they say, you can have a good script and have a bad movie, but you can't have a bad script and make a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a very true thing. If the script is bad, the movie will be bad.
yeah.
So if we leave open,
Rings of Power.
thank you. If we leave open improv here, then the movie will not work. Like if you have to read the script and know this is how I'm going to sound to come up with that improv.
Yeah.
So
You have
I
to have,
think
like, bullet
there's,
points, basically.
I think you
Yeah.
are right that improv is helpful, but I do not think you plan for improv.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's a fair
Now,
statement.
sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you
I was
going
gonna
to
say it really helps when you guys are like this is like we want you to kind of slip these in things, but just go off the cuff. Like we did that.
I saw us talking about it in the behind
like
the
20
scenes.
times.
I was like, Noah, just say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And
I was like,
you were like,
Because we
fine,
got
and
it
you
in the
walked
first
away.
like one or two, and then we were just like,
right. Let's just keep doing it.
Yeah, you hear me
We're
yell.
all already soaking
You hear me
wet.
Yeah.
yell, I won't say it on here. And then I just go, keep going. I go, does anyone else have a problem if we keep going? Everyone is, even like Kamari and Bryce and Adrian were like,
they were just watching.
keep going,
Yeah,
please.
Yeah.
And I think Trevor doesn't get enough credit. He sold
He did
so
it
well.
dude, he sold the punch.
he also laid on
He
the
was just
soaking
throwing
wet
his
ground.
body around
yeah,
for
he
it.
was getting
He was ragdoll.
flailed.
I told him, I was like, Trevor, you did a great
He
job
did
acting
a
too.
great job.
Yeah.
I said that to the guy I was talking to at the gym today. I'm like, Trevor's got some acting chops because he's friends with Trevor. So I was like,
Yeah.
homie's got some chops. Like he can
does.
act.
Same with like everyone did. Adrian,
Yeah.
Kamari, Bryce. I feel like
Yeah.
everyone did. So,
Yeah.
Tyler and Jacob also did really
Joe
good.
Pesci. I never saw that. I saw 0 parts of that
Yeah.
scene. That was hilarious.
It was
I
a
did
super.
not, like
I think there is a credit to them, but also
the
I
chemistry
feel like
on screen for them was great.
I think it's cool throwing in pop culture stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Oh,
Having
yeah.
a gangster,
Yeah.
talking about a gangster movie in a gangster movie,
Yeah.
I feel like is a cool.
yeah.
That at least write it that, and then I also talked about having the big fella line.
Yeah.
Those were the little
Yeah.
nods I thought were cool
Yeah,
throwing
yeah,
in
yeah,
there. Which who knows?
Maybe someone picked up on it, and if you did,
You guys act like
credit to you.
I'm anybody. But anyway,
you
what
are.
were you
You
gonna say?
are.
What were you gonna say?
I just want to. We're getting to the end of the podcast, but I want to say, I would shoot myself in the foot if I didn't say this.
Okay.
We didn't talk about Lord of the Rings last time. You're a huge Lord of the Rings
Oh
fan.
my God! How did we not do
Yeah,
that? Yes.
and I want to touch on that.
yes,
Destroy
yes.
Rings of Power, please.
Yeah, no, that was.
I couldn't get to the end.
You
It's so
didn't even
bad.
finish it.
I couldn't get
I
through
watched
the first episode.
I watched 3 episodes and then watched reviews tank it because I couldn't do it.
the rest of it.
I tried.
Did you?
I couldn't.
Yeah, I watched all of it.
It got so. I watched the reviews where they'd show clips. It got so garbage.
What was the breaking point for you?
The breaking point was when she swam across the entire.
was
Dude,
fine.
do you know how stupid that is? Actually, the first breaking
end
point
of
was
the earth
first
is
breaking
back?
point. She's like,
Here's
I'm
a
better than
con-
everyone, and
yeah.
then kills
Yeah.
kills the troll, discards
No
all of
struggle.
her men. I'm like, classic Hollywood, right
Yeah, I
here.
was
Here we go.
No struggles for them at all.
And the fight scene was okay. Then she did like the run off the ramp sword thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't know about that
Gimmicky,
one.
and then
I was like I can let it slide. Like the troll looked cool. Like I can let that
Yeah,
slide.
there's-
Like the
well,
elf-
when you have $1 billion an episode,
right,
hopefully the
right.
troll looks cool.
Technically, it's
Right,
the
that's-
trailer was the breaking point. When I go, Sam, it looks like
Oh.
you can see it looks like a video game right here. It
No.
looks like
Yeah.
in the trailer.
Well, that's what people hated about
when I
Hobbit-
saw the
Hobbit trilogy
trailer,
as well.
when I saw the trailer originally, I go, oh my gosh, that looks so bad. And then it showed Rings of Power, and I go, oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
I was pumped, dude. A Lord of the
was
Rings
too.
TV show? Are
$1 billion?
you
stopped being
freaking
pumped.
kidding me?
$1 billion.
And I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan too.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like
Game of Thrones is
anything fantasy, I'm a fan
Game
of.
of Thrones.
Anything
which-
sci-fi,
The end of Game of
I'm a fan
What's your
of.
stance on
Yeah,
Game
what-
of Thrones ending?
I guess
I
It's
don't. I
pretty-
don't violently destroy it like most fans do, but I
It's
mean,
pretty
it definitely took a tank in the last
Yeah.
8 episodes.
When
Like,
well, it's
they're
so
literally
hard
going,
to rewatch that.
They go against so many of like all the characters that have been developed for so long. Like
it's so
like
painful.
some of the lines are just terrible. Like there are some really good YouTube channels that have made a lot of
Oh,
subscribers.
I
and a lot
love
of money.
watching people
Oh,
tank
it's
on the
so-
Rings of
Star
Power.
Wars
Gets literally
Rings-
Oh my
run
god!
through
I
the
still
mud.
see them, dude.
Oh,
one-
yeah, it's so funny.
Who likes Rings of Power?
Like, people are still posting about how bad it was like 9 months after it came out, dude.
Yeah, and it's still,
insane.
and I'm like, click,
Yeah.
like, it's like 500,000 likes.
Insta-like.
Oh yeah, everyone loves those videos.
The
Or, like,
ratio between
the
the
Star
tra-
Wars ones where they'll show like
Oh
Rey
my
being
god, bro!
stupid.
Star Wars-
Yes, any
Rey's
of the
getting a movie
sequels.
again.
Oh my god, what?
No, thank you.
I didn't mind her as a character.
I didn't either.
But it's
I don't.
just like,
She's a good actor.
Yeah.
But it's like,
It's so funny listening to Mark Hamill talk about
Oh,
them.
and
He's
he's
like,
like-
this is just so sad. He talked about it one time and he goes, they were really creative about an orphan child lost on a sand planet. Where,
well, he trolls too, and he's like, "What's her name again?" They're
Yeah.
like, Ray. He's like, "Oh, Ray."
But he knows
Like,
the
he'll act-
actress's
yeah.
name. He
He'll
goes,
know-
what's her?
Daisy Ridley's
Yeah.
new character? He's like, Ray. They're like, Ray. He's like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Like he's
He's so
trolling. them.
funny.
I love Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill's a great guy.
What-
Love to meet him.
is your favorite Lord of the Rings movie? This is a tough question.
It is.
Oh shit!
I'll give you some time. Used to be Two Towers. Return of the
Return of
King
the
is
King is mine.
insane. Fellowship's really good. For me, I think it would go. The Helm's Deep battle is so
crazy good.
amazing. See, I know you're like, how could you have? Oh,
No.
Fellowship's awesome. They're all so good. Return of the King. oh
Let's
my-
all
it's-
let's all rank them. 3 from 1 to 3. Or
One being the
Best?
best.
Yeah, one being the best.
Well,
Okay.
technically, the third is the best if you
Yeah.
look at awards because it literally
It's
had
won
13
so
or
many.
11 Oscars.
And that is the best one.
Yeah.
Return of the King is
yeah,
number
Return
one.
of the King. Can we all agree?
It's
Return
so
of the King
emotional.
is the best
I
So
literally,
one.
I literally cry.
Did you see the
ride
at the
up-
theater?
No, I didn't.
I didn't
I
either.
wanted to so
Why can't
bad.
Celebration
Anything-
get it?
There wasn't anything local.
Side note: Sam and I are going to
It
buy a
was.
theater in the future. We want to buy a movie theater and start a film
that would
festivals
be
and
nice.
show theaters and have our
Yeah.
brand be able to see us in person, like
That would be
shops
really
and
cool.
arcade,
Yeah.
That would
and
be
then
really
show
cool.
movies. Side note:
I'm upset. Return of the King was one showing. Celebration Cinema in Benton Harbor.
What?
Tuesday,
Really?
It wasn't.
7 o'clock.
They did.
I almost
It
went.
wasn't. It was Fellowship.
Oh, what?
They showed
Why did they
sometimes
only-
celebrate. They showed E.T. a couple months ago. They show random movies at certain points. It was Fellowship,
Oh, that's weird.
or it was the original. It might have. It was.
Who knows?
It wasn't because I checked. Return. They had a website for the official spot.
Oh, yeah.
Celebration. We don't get. My uncle was super mad about this the other day. He's like, we don't get anything. at
Yeah, no,
Celebration.
it's bad.
But yeah, ranking the movies, Return of the King, Fellowship's so good. You have Helm's Deep Battle and Two Towers.
Yeah.
And then in Fellowship, you just have
Really good character development.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just building. It's
hard to rank them.
That was completely
is.
made from practical effects almost, which is
All
I
of it,
love
dude.
that.
It's
I
insane.
love that.
It's insane. I would probably go 3, 2, 1. Like Return of the King, Two Towers, Fellowship, because I'm a sucker for the battles.
Yeah, the
I just-
battles.
That's what I grew up on. I was watching Lord of the Rings before I could read.
And I just think that is the most beautiful way that we
Yeah.
can say the final. I want to get into it more, but our camera has now died, so
Right.
now Noah's going to give us
Off-
the outro.
Off camera, we'll talk.
Off
probably more
we will.
about it.
Noah, send them off. Tell them why they need to watch Vendetta Stat.
All right, kids, listen up. If you're still here,
Kids
clearly,
over 18 though, for business reasons.
gentlemen and ladies, adults, if you are even in the slightest interested in any sort of movie production or just seeing what two very impressive young men that are extremely passionate about what they want to do in
jeez.
life, go
you're
watch
making
this
me
movie.
blush.
It's 17 minutes of art. It is not just a movie. It is art, and it has thousands of hours of work into it collectively. Go watch it. Go see me beat somebody's face in twice, and it's great. You just need to go at least check it out, give them their flowers, they've been hyping everybody else up, but they deserve the most hype because this is their baby.
Oh gosh.
Now, if anyone's made it an hour and 20 minutes in and hasn't seen it, first of all,
yeah, that's insane.
Just unsubscribe and leave. We don't want
you here. Get out.
We don't want you here. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Suka Podcast. Have a great rest of your stay.